I would like to recognize our Custos Ratalorum. I would like to recognize our Superintendent of Police, Miss Charmaine Chan. I would like to recognize Assistant Superintendent, I hope I get that title right, Mr. Conigan, and pastors, councillors, deputy mayor. I would like to recognize each and every one on the platform. If your name did not call, please do not hold that against me. Today marks the 150 years. Today is the day when St. Thomas went through the greatest shame and disgrace. The day when your dear beloved leader, who was a spiritual leader and a church leader, was hung right behind us. Today, yesterday was also a day of disgrace when they hanged George William Gordon, two of Jamaica national hero, was hung right here in this square 150 years ago. George William Gordon and Paul Bogle was best friend. Paul Bogle, even though he was a deacon, he organized politics for George William Gordon. Both of them owned land side and side, so they became close friends. Both of them was hung for Morant Bay Rebellion. But let me tell you something. Why I really admire Paul Bogle. It is not because he's my family, but it's because when I look at what Paul Bogle had, land, horse, cow, donkey, bakery, sheep, goat, you name it, ass, him never in need of anything. And when him decide to take up the plight, the pain of the people of St. Thomas and stand up for them, I am saying to you this afternoon, you have a true hero, a true man of God. Paul Bogle is.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it be politician or church leaders. I don't know of any that would stand up and give their life for you at this time.
None.
I know that maybe they would put up a $5,000 or give you 2 bottles of water, but they would not come out and pay the ultimate price for nothing. So we must ensure that the work of Paul Bogle and the blood sacrifice of the people of St. Thomas be always recognized. Failure to recognize the blood sacrifice of the people, you failure to recognize yourself. In 1999, I formed the Paul Bogle Foundation. I was living in America prior to that, and I got the vision, being in America and get the vision. I remember a friend of mine invited me to a Spanish church, and while I was in the church and the pastor was preaching, the pastor walked down the aisle and he did not know me, and he take me up and he said, "You are from a great family in Jamaica, and you will have to go back home to do something in honor of your family, to uplift the people of your parish." And at the time when he was saying that to me, I was saying to myself, this pastor man look like him lick him head, because I not going to leave America to go back down at Jamaica to say, well, never start something. But things happen. And I had was to come home, because I find that from the day I have this vision, I just can't get over it. I have to deal with it. So let me tell you something, St. Thomas. For more than 100 years, Morant Bay Rebellion, as it is called, was the biggest liability for the people in this parish. Today, it becomes one of the biggest assets in this world. We can use the Morant Bay Rebellion to bring spiritual freedom to the people of Jamaica. We can use the Morant Bay Rebellion to bring economic freedom to the people of St. Thomas. This year marks the 16th year since we are hosting this event. This year marks the 16th year since I have formed the Paul Bogle Foundation. And I am saying to you that the Baptist faith that Paul Bogle was from of 150 million people. I am saying to you that we have more than 2 billion Christians on the face of this earth, whether it be Church of God, prophecy, whatever the name is. It adds up to more than 2 billion people. Now I am saying to the pastors this afternoon that you must embrace Paul Bogle. You must take the message of Paul Bogle to the world. You must use the 2 billion people that is front of you to create economic change to this parish. Present to them your national hero, because David is recognized as the man closest to Christ. He commit murder just the same way like Paul Bogle. So we cannot embrace David no other way than we can embrace the Paul Bogle, because all of the people that is mentioned in the Bible that we use to recognize God is human being just like me and you. Paul was a man that was walking on the earth, and we can go Joseph, David, we can go all of these messengers. So we must embrace our messenger, because Paul Bogle Rebellion did not just change Jamaica, you know. Paul Bogle Rebellion was discussed in the Parliament of England for 7 consecutive years. It created the biggest universal change in history for black people, that is in the benefits of black people. It gave birth to the police force in Jamaica. But I'm not going to get too into that because we have a guest speaker. So I have to leave some of it for him. But in all fairness, I am saying that the time has come when the leaders of church must say to the leaders at the top that we need to put October 24th on the calendar and embrace it in a very serious way. When I came back home in the 90s, 96, and started walking up and down and telling people of my plan, I was a laughing stick. People laugh at me when I came to the council and in 98 and tell them about my vision. People laugh at me and said it wouldn't happen. but I saw more than 20,000 people walking 2 Sundays ago from Stony Gut under the banner of the Paul Bogle Foundation. I saw lawyers and I saw doctors walking from Stony Gut, and people is now seeing that when I say we are doing the enactment of the candle vigil in Stony Gut, and we are going to use these things to uplift St. Thomas, it can happen. Because for far too long, the people of Jamaica, the people of St. Thomas, sit down and await for something to happen. They await for the world to discover St. Thomas. No, Bob Marley did not wait on the world to discover him. He take the message to the world. So when I leave here and I say that I am going into Africa to represent St. Thomas and to put Paul Bogle out there, we are taking the message to the world. When I went before the Parliament of Atlanta and I light 1,000 candles using the Paul Bogle Foundation, it's taking St. Thomas to the world. When I went before United Nations and I put down 1,000 candles, where every flag in the world fly, every flag from every country, it is taking the message of St. Thomas to every country in the world. When I went into Washington, D.C., in front of the White House, at the White House reflecting pool, and I did these things, it is taking St. Thomas to the world. I am not sitting down and waiting for the world to discover me. So I am asking the leaders of the church to stop, sit down and wait for the world to discover us. You have 2 billion people in front of you. Utilize the 2 billion people and bring economic freedom. The time comes when we must stop depending on the